Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming at you live from episode 61 of Life on the Rocks with your host, Connor LaRocque. Today's featured guest in the hot seat is somebody I've been waiting to interview. We got lots of different things to talk about. Mr. Cody Askins, how you doing today, brother?
Good, man. Appreciate you being on, buddy. Appreciate you having me, seriously.
Oh, anytime. For anybody who currently doesn't know Cody on my network, this gentleman is a hustler in a positive way. So he is the CEO of Secure Agent Mentor, which is an insurance-based company, and he is also the producer of the 8% Nation Conference, which is held at the stadium in Nashville. So this is a big conference that has big names such as Grant Cardone and Ray Lewis. Am I correct?
We've also got Tim Story. It's gonna be a big event, man.
Oh no, I can't wait to check it out. I actually got some tickets for it, so I should be down in Nashville on the 26th. So to start this interview off, I think the most important question to build some context is, what got you started in business? We were talking before the interview, and this gentleman was playing college basketball while selling door-to-door, sold over $117,000 in a year. Or I mean $1,017,000 in a year. That's correct.
Yeah, 117K in about my first 8 months in the insurance business. Yeah, 19 years old, in college, playing basketball. Dude, just fell in love, man. Just like you, man. Just hustling, grinding, and getting it done, man.
Right, absolutely. So what made you, so your company, so Secure Agent Mentor, what type of insurance company is this? Like, talk to me about this. Break it down.
Yeah, so Secure Agent Mentor was first started. I first put up a YouTube video December 28th of 2015. And I would put up YouTube videos. Hey, I made $8,000 this week. Here's how you can too. And I produced consistent content for over a year. No website, didn't know where the brand would go, but it was all focused on helping insurance agents, training. And so agents finally started reaching out and saying, hey, can we buy leads from you? Can you train us? Can we join your team? And eventually that's how Secure Agent Mentor was born. And it's blown up. It does the Secure Agent Mentor brand does well over $300,000 a month now, and it's sprouting, it's growing, brother. It's cool.
Oh no, that's huge. And even, in comparison to Canadian money, $300,000 is quite a significant amount. And you're young, Cody. I mean, I think you're obviously a little bit older than me. How old are you? About 27, 28?
Just turned 28.
Just turned 28.
Yeah.
So you're young and you have a big company like that. So you started off, so was that your initial plan going from high school to college to get into insurance, or did someone kind of approach you and recruit you?
No, actually, what's funny is my father's been in the business. He started 4 months before I was born in the insurance business. So I've been exposed to the insurance business my entire life.
Really?
He's been in the business almost 30 years, a little over 28 years now. And I wasn't always sure that I wanted to get in the insurance business. I wasn't 100% sure. I wasn't positive. You kind of grew up in it. You're like, well, it's been great to my dad. It's been great to our family. It's been great for me. But you know what? Maybe it's not for me. So I started as an intern at 18. And as an intern, I was cold calling out of the phone book for other insurance agents. And so just really getting exposure and experience. And before I knew it, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to jump in full time. We're going to see if we can make a career of this and see how this goes. And literally within my first few months, I was getting creative and out producing all the veteran agents in our office. Within 6 months, I had district sales managers from around the country calling our office to see what this young kid was doing. And so, man, it was at that point I just fell in love. I'm like, man, I was able to earn a 5-star incentive trip to California. I was able to go to multiple World Series. I was able to meet and hang out with Magic Johnson, all 19, 20, 20 years old. And I just fell in love, man. I really did.
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's what people don't get, when you're going through university or college, everyone thinks, oh, I'm never going to go into my parents' business. And then especially in insurance, everyone thinks insurance is boring, and it's like one of the biggest markets in the entire world. Like, why not get into it? There's obviously a lot of money to be made, people to help.
Yeah, there are more millionaires in the financial services and insurance industry than any other industry on planet Earth.
Right. No, it's so true. You know what's funny about that, actually? I used to recruit for Combine Insurance, and that was always part of the pitch, that they were like, guys, like, you go to these big docks. Who owns the big boats? It's not always the doctors and lawyers. It's a lot of these financial service reps. I think that was so super important. I want to change gears a little bit. I want to talk about this conference. So it's October 26th, Nashville Stadium. how do you go from, you're being the CEO of this company and then wanting to start this big wealth conference? Like, how did that end up coming to be?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a public speaker, right? So I've always wanted to be a public speaker. I've always wanted to throw a big conference. It's just always been a personal dream of mine. I just got to speak for the first time in front of about 500 insurance agents in Chicago last week. Thank you, brother. It was a ton of fun. It was awesome. Like, I'm hooked. It was like, man, it's addicting, right? And so I was sitting in the pool the day before Memorial Day talking to my dad, and we're talking about conferences and we're talking about different events. And I'm like, you know what? He's like, you should throw a conference. I'm like, you know what? I really should. And literally within a week, I had released it out to my network. We had threw up a website within the first couple of weeks. I mean, before you know it, it's June, and now in 21 days, October 26th and 27th at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, we've got this big conference, big event, 1,000 people, all these big names, and we didn't even really start actually telling people until June, almost July. And I'm like, you know what? I'm someone that's a lot like you, buddy. When I know something's a good idea, I go all in. There's no reason to think about it. There's no reason to add time to the equation. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to do it at some point in the future, then let's just do it now. So here we are.
Right. Well, that's huge. Like, how hard was it to get, big names like Grant Cardone and Ray Lewis? I mean, those aren't average speakers. Those are, your top of their game.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It was some hard work. It was, investing in the conference, in the event, spending a lot of money, reaching out to a lot of successful people. I mean, the people I've met, like Charlie Chena, who's a buddy of ours, the people I've met has been amazing. The social aspect, I mean, that's what a lot of people don't realize is the social aspect of business, the networking, the mentoring, getting to know people. I used to kind of have let my ego get in the way. And I'm telling you what, man, I'm not a naturally social individual. I'm like, you know what? Nah, I don't need them. I can do it. But I'm telling you what, if I hadn't got all these people involved, we've got a dozen people on the panel, a dozen speakers. If I hadn't got all these people involved, all these companies, this conference would not be where it is without all of those incredible people. So that's been so huge and life-changing in my business. It really has.
No, I believe that. I think that's one of the most important things in business is that at the end of the day, it's people running the companies. And you look at, some of these top tier companies, if they have a terrible culture, the people aren't invested. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to sink, right? And one of my good friends, his name is Jay Duran. He's a big aspect. I'll introduce you to him. Talks all about that company culture and the investment and kind of creating something that people want to get around, similar to what all the speakers are going to talk about. So what's some of the biggest things you're aiming for in this conference as takeaways for people? Like, it's motivational based. Is it just geared for insurance, or you want to open it up to pretty much everybody because there's going to be value, obviously.
Right. Yeah. It's for anyone that feels like they have a little more potential. Anyone feels like, hey, I can make a little more money. Hey, I can think a little bigger. Hey, I'm still coachable and I can still learn something. And so the motto of this conference is come learn the mindset. It's on the screen behind me. Come learn the mindset, the mission, and the specific how-to moves to produce millions of dollars in this business. Yeah, it's catered around insurance because that's my previous experience in our brands are insurance-based. But anyone that wants to create financial freedom and generate long-term wealth, dude, this conference is for them.
Oh, no, I believe it. And I think that's huge because I've been to a lot of conferences and I can tell just talking to you, even before the interview, you're someone that's not going to put up with, a lot of fluff. You don't want to come up there and you go to conferences and it's just a big sell fest. And you take me as a type of gentleman that you go to an event like this and it's going to be hard hitting. And that's what it means, that you create that kind of environment. It's like, this is what we want. You want to be the best? Come learn from the best, get involved with the best. I really enjoy that approach. I want you to talk to me about the importance. I was looking at some of your content and things, the importance of branding and marketing properly, because it goes hand in hand with sales. So talk to me about that for a second.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, salespeople kind of forget about, is that you are, this is what I spoke on in Chicago, you are a personal brand. Everyone has a brand. Rocques is a brand. Everyone's got a brand. And I didn't really know that along the way, but I'm telling you what, our generation and social media, all the software, all the tools, it's getting to where people would rather follow a person than a company. And so a personal brand is so big. So I always say it's cool to put out consistent content, but I would rather go a step further and put out consistent, caring content that actually touches the person on the other end of the camera or the phone, to where you can have a brand, but a brand only goes as far as your audience. If you don't have an audience, you may have a brand, but it's always going to be a small brand. And so anything we do, it's got to be focused on, hey, how do I drive and bring value to that person that's watching right now? And so for us, the brand has exploded. We've got a studio. We've got 20 team members. We've got 5 guys in the marketing room right now watching this as we do this. But we've got, lights and cameras and all this stuff. And we didn't have all that. When I first started, if people go back and look at our Secure Agent Mentor YouTube channel, our first video, literally 32 months ago or so, December 28th to 15, dude, it was awful. It was horrible. I wasn't even very good on video, but the brand has evolved, as other people can too, as long as they realize, hey, I am a brand. Everything I do affects my brand, and I need to be focused on bringing value to some type of audience.
Right. I think that's one of the most crucial points that people don't realize you can actually leverage so many situations. Like, oh, I went to university, got my 4-year degree, I wasted my time. It's like, no, well, the connection base, the people, the content you're putting out. What's your advice to students and entrepreneurs starting out? So as a business owner yourself, being very successful, what is some of the advice you can give off of that point with branding and other things that you, if you could tell your futures or your previous self, like what's some advice you'd give to yourself?
Dude, that's a great question. I love that. I love that question. I would say it's that most people come out of high school, college, maybe they're broke, maybe they're struggling. Truthfully, I think we think too small. I think we are all way more capable than we realize. So the biggest thing I've been able to do is personal development, self-development, spending the money, going to events, meeting people. I didn't do as much of that as I know I should have. And I would say the biggest thing of all that I do every single day that has revolutionized our business is writing down my goals every single day. I don't miss it. I almost walked out of the house this morning, and I got literally, as I was about to walk out my bedroom, I'm like, dude, you didn't write your goals down yet. What are you doing, man? So I went back, sat on the bed, wrote, what is it, 10, 4, 18, and then literally went through all my goals. And I didn't used to do that, but I'm conscious and focused every single day on achieving those because I write them down every day. So if I can encourage someone to do something, write your goals down every single day. It's been life-changing.
It's funny that small little tweaks like that, people don't realize how impactful they can be. It's like, even you look at runners, right? They don't blow people away by a mile. It's that small little fraction, those little days and things you put in, right? So I got a question for you off of that. And I actually really enjoy your answer because it's so practical. It keeps it at the top of your brain. Yeah. Here's a question: as marketers and salespeople and just in general in our industry, everybody's preaching, you got to have a niche, whatever you want to say. And at the end of the day, if you have no experience, how can you say, oh, I'm going to niche in? So I want to ask you, what's your advice to somebody looking to find their niche? Like you're obviously in insurance. You found your niche as a mentor, as a leader. Like, what's your advice to people on that?
Yeah, I mean, because one question that I get asked by a lot of top industry guys is, hey, you have Secure Agent Mentor. You do lead generation. You also travel to offices and train teams. You want to public speak. You're throwing a conference. You've got an agency that'll do over 6,000 policies, this next year. You've got a small call center. They're like, why don't you just focus on one area, And I'm like, dude, I believe I can be great at all of it. I really do. And so, but all of these different companies are affected by the personal brand, the attention, and like you said, they're still in a niche. And so, it's not like I'm, an insurance agent, and then I'm, or I own a insurance lead generation brand, but then I'm going to go and, start, selling roofing contracts. They're all affected within that niche. And so I think that's one thing I can say to a lot of people watching is think about the other pillars that you can grow. Now you need a team and you need some money, but the other pillars that you can add along the way that are directly reflected by everything that you're already doing.
It's true. I think that's actually massive advice too. It's one of those things because then you're already focused. You have that, you're in, like you're kind of divided into it, and then you can kind of break through. I think that's huge. Because I asked a lot of people that question, and I hate to say it, and again, I'm not knocking our industry in personal development sometimes, that everyone preaches it. It's strong. It's like you got to find a niche, and I'm like, well, how do you do that? And then they don't really. It kind of gets in there, and I'm not. The thing I like about Cardone is Cardone actually breaks down a number of things. He has some tactics you can use. Yeah. Is he one of your main mentors? What you look up to in the industry, or is there specific ones? Like I'm assuming that obviously bringing some of these people out there, you're a big fan of them already. That you want to get them live on stage with you.
No doubt. I would say that of anyone on the planet, I'm the biggest fan of Grant Cardone at the moment. That's one thing that he preaches a lot too, is rather than having 68 mentors who all give different advice, find a couple that you can really learn from. He's been huge for me. He's been big for me. I got a chance to hang out with him in his office. I got a chance to do some videos in their studio. I got a chance to meet him in GrowthCon. We sat front row. We did a private mentor coaching session with him. And so always being coachable, having a couple mentors. He's someone that I follow the most. I would say Charlie Chena, our good buddy, is one of the dudes that I probably listen to the most and get the most advice from, just because he's a deep down caring guy. But finding a couple people that you can really, really learn from, that have experience. Guys behind us, Grant Cardone, obviously. Coach Burt is someone I'm starting to add as a mentor of mine, someone I know I can learn a ton from. My wife and I are going to hang out with him and his wife in, I think, like Seaside, Florida, at like a beach house or somewhere during Valentine's weekend. It's like a business mastermind, so I know I can get better. So
no, that's incredible. And by the way, I hate to project this, my camera's still on.
Do what?
Is my camera still on, or is it?
Yeah. You're good. You're on now. Yeah, you're
out,
but you're on. You're good.
Yeah, it cuts off. It's a break up. No, I think that's actually a huge piece of advice. What's your recommendation? Like to get, so you're getting around, like you paid to get in the conferences. Like, is there any advice so you can start getting around people like that and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, so as far as like getting around people that you want to be around and meeting people and that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's really cool about this conference in general. I'm glad you asked that. Grant Cardone's event is going to have 35,000 people. It's going to be, from here on out, it will be extremely difficult to ever get close to Grant Cardone.
Right.
Ray Lewis was just inducted in the NFL Hall of Fame. Forever, from now on, it's going to be really difficult to get close to Ray Lewis. Now, when you're in an event that's got 800, 1,000, 1,200 people, could be a little easier. So I think that's what's neat, is don't forget about the opportunities that come along with events like this compared to, GC's events. So
I think that's huge. It's the smaller event, and the better chance of kind of somebody, and that's what I've seen at these events. Like you go to a big one, like they do a Toronto one, it's a real estate wealth expo. You're never going to meet. You know what I mean? He's going to be the back door. There's 15,000 people. It's just too difficult.
Yeah, it's true, man.
And or go ahead.
Yeah, you're so right, buddy. It's going to be difficult. So I mean, because if I don't want someone to be a mentor of mine, I can learn from them, but I got to eventually meet them, right? That's just going to add some excitement and some some courage and some confidence in what I'm doing and what they can bring to the table. So it just helps that connection.
No, absolutely. Got a good question for you. What's your favorite part of your job, being a CEO and an entrepreneur? What do you enjoy doing the most of your day?
Yeah, I would say the thing that I enjoy doing the most is, at this point, it would probably really surprise people. I probably enjoy being on camera the most.
Right.
Stuff like this, our live shows. We do several live shows a week. The marketing team has a camera in my face all the time. I used to hate the camera. Honestly, I really enjoy it. I used to have to kind of, I used to. What's funny about the camera is normally someone will be different on camera. I've learned that the more I'm on camera, the more real I am. And so I enjoy that aspect. other than that, I spend a lot of time with our marketing guys, kind of behind the scenes, thinking about creative things we can do. When I'm in the shower, I'm thinking about creative ways to blow up this conference. So I've always been a sales guy. Over the last year to 2 years, I've added the marketing mix in a big way. And so I'm constantly learning that aspect of the business, and I love it. That's cool.
No, I think it keeps it interesting where, you're selling, you're also doing marketing, you're doing branding, you kind of incorporate team development. I really like that. And I think, especially going into the 21st century right now, we need that instead of just sitting at a desk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. I completely agree. Yeah.
I want to change gears for 1 second, talking about team development. What's some of your advice, for these up and coming leaders out there to get people to buy into your movement and buy into yourself, to start helping them make some moves in sales and other things?
No doubt. I would say two things. You've got to be passionate, but also relatable. They've got to know that you're passionate, that you have a clear vision, and that they can relate with you on a personal level. But then to even add another layer to that is it's got to be evident that you have like our team, it's got to be evident that I've got a strong passion and a vision, but also that we have a fun culture. We've got a daily bet going on right now within my different companies, tickets versus policies and all this other stuff. And whichever side wins has to serve like energy drinks and stuff to the other side that won. And so we just fun stuff like that, team culture. We do a daily team meeting at 9:05 a.m. every day with all 20 plus of us. And so that culture aspect, people need to enjoy. That's something I struggle with too, is because a lot of people, you can be aggressive, you can be direct, you can run a tight ship and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, yes, all that's important, but your team has to be bought in and they have to enjoy where they're coming to work. So
true. I really like that. Jack he always said, he's like, be the place where all the fun kids want to go. You're kind of mentality. I think that's huge. It shows and how you scaled in the last 2 years. I don't well. I could just see, where you started as you talk about it to bang. Look at the big empire you built.
Thank you, buddy.
One of the last questions I want to ask you, it's super important. I want to talk for a minute about fear. So you said you did your first public speech in front of 500 people. How did you get yourself up there to, oh crap, like what if I screw up to bang, you're on stage, and then now you're going to be on stage with Cardone? Talk to me about that. I'm not going to lie, I was pretty nervous. The first couple days before that, like the day of, I ate like a half a bowl of soup, and I didn't speak till like 5 o'clock. I wasn't drinking enough water. I don't know. I just had this pit in my stomach. I'm like, okay, I've spoken in front of camera a lot. I've spoke to our team a lot. I did little 30-man trainings, that kind of stuff. I was best man in a wedding, all this kind of stuff. But it's different when you get on stage. You got a bunch of bright lights, 500 people looking at you. You got to captivate them immediately. And so, one thing that I did that really helped is I said, okay, I've got to engage this audience quickly. And then I need to have fun with them. So what I did is I did a Facebook Live, and I got them, because my speech was about personal branding. I did a quick Facebook Live. I got them all excited behind me. And from there, it was easy. But those first couple minutes are the toughest. The couple days leading up, one other thing I did too, 2 quick tips is I had my camera guy stick a camera in my face in the hallway to get me used to speaking and getting ready to speak. And also, I ran up and down the hallway, did some jumping jacks, did some high knees, jumped up and down, got my blood flowing a little bit, like Tony Robbins jumping on the trampoline before he gets up, right? So those are the totally give them that energy. I think that's great advice on the upcoming speakers in general, even veterans. People like to say, "Oh, you get nervous and all this," but you definitely will. You feel the adrenaline.
You've done. I think you've done it a decent amount. It's a rush. I love it.
It's like one of the best things in the world, to go up there. It's not about you. It's about giving back. And you feel the presence. Yeah. There's nothing better than that.
No doubt.
So the last question Where can we, so for your event, that's October 26th, Nashville Stadium, where can we find tickets for the event? People can contact me, obviously, if they want to.
Absolutely.
Where can we find them?
Yep. 8percentnation.com. So the company is 8% Nation Insurance Wealth Conference, 8percentnation.com. October 26th, 27th in Nashville at Nissan Stadium where the Tennessee Titans play. It's going to be a ton of fun. And dude, I'm excited to get to meet you there too, bro.
Oh, no, absolutely. I can't thank you enough. I mean, I'm excited for the conference. That's a big game. I want to watch you speak there too. I'll get that on video.
There we go.
I want to say I appreciate you coming on my show. You've done an exceptional job. Honestly, I love entrepreneurs like yourself. I'm 28 years old, and the sky's the limit still.
Thank
Where
you,
can we? Where else can we on social media?
Yeah. Okay. So Facebook, Cody Askins, Instagram, Cody Askins, company in general, Secure Agent Mentor, and so that would our YouTube channel. We put the most content on there, Secure Agent Mentor, and so you can find me at Cody Askins. I always encourage people to message me anytime. I'm an open book, and again, I'm like you said, it's all about helping people and giving back. So,
right, you've done a great job. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. Thank you.